Hello, it's Denise here from YourEnergyAwakening.com. And today I wanted to come and share with you a chapter out of my new book. It's called Spirit Speaks, Experiencing the Loss of Self to Experience the Love of Self. And what this book is really about, it's about the journey that we take into the mind and the perception that we create of ourselves, all in our own mind. So the chapter that I'm going to read today, it's called The Final Death of the Old Me. Once again, I found my mind rambling over that old story of the abandoned, abused child. I fought the rambling. Not able to stand the chatter, I called my teacher, Maya, and she said to me, "Your ego is dying." Fear ran through me, and my mind and my jaw began to chatter. I was finally grasping that it was all in my mind. The story of the abandoned, abused child was a groove in my brain that was so deep it kept pulling me back into my old identity. Until that day, my mind had stopped identifying itself as a story, and my ego wanted the identity of the abandoned, abused child back. Finally, the truth that I wasn't the abandoned, abused child sank in. My mind freaked by sending waves of fear into every cell of my body. Tension in my stomach, toes curled in my shoes, knees locked, fist clench, shoulders tight, neck stiff. My body responded to the lack of acceptance of my mind and the unwillingness to let go of the abandoned, abused child. My mind and body fought each other, unwilling to accept that the heart was now becoming the master. Grief constricted my heart and prevented my mind from thinking incessantly, and I began to understand that I wasn't my mind, but I still did not understand my spirit either. My body was confused and fought the sensation of love. My mind froze in fear. Chaos tore through my body. Fear sprinted through my mind. The heart was on high alert. I soon found myself in the middle of my living room, pulling out my hair, crying and screaming into the phone as I yelled to Maya. Was I losing my mind? Was I going insane? Or was my mind losing control of my life? Not understanding what was happening, I felt confused and afraid. The ego mind tried to hold on as I moved down into my core, connecting to my innermost being. And I remember Maya making me look at the image in my mind of myself sitting behind bars in my mind prison. I recognized that I was a little girl who was trapped in a concrete jail cell in the center of my head. Huddled up in the corner, paralyzed by fear, I couldn't move. The little girl I saw in my mind, I couldn't move her. I heard Maya's voice on the other end of the phone encouraging me to stand up. I screamed, "I can't stand up. I'm stuck." I remember focusing with my mind and willing that little girl to stand up. She felt so heavy. Finally, Maya said, "I'm here to help you stand up." Focusing in my mind on my 6-year-old self's image in that prison cell, I began to will her to stand up. It was hard to get her to move. She felt cemented, and then suddenly, little by little, she began to rise. With the help of Maya's voice on the phone, we helped her stand up. Stiff as a board, I saw myself standing up in my head, and my little girl stepped out of the prison of my mind. She stepped out of the darkness and into the light. I recognized that it was all me. I was the only one keeping her trapped in the prison of my mind. In a daze of disbelief, I couldn't believe it was all me that whole time. I was imprisoning me. I finally chose to be free. I was laughing, crying, dancing, and screaming joyfully. You know, we keep our stories alive over and over again. And we keep creating relationships in life that enliven that story, that we are the victim of something. And until we can finally see that it's all coming from a repetitive pattern of thoughts, we stay in the prison of the mind. And when we finally can see that we are the only ones keeping us there, we can make the decision to be free. If you'd like to read more, you can get my book on Amazon at spiritspeaksbook.com. Go there and read the full story of my journey of coming out of the prison of my mind. Bless you. Thank you. Much love. See you soon.